Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Will Dinwiddie here. Today's word of the day is integrity. Integrity, internal consistency, the state of being whole, and a lack of corruption. Okay, so a lack of corruption doesn't mean that you don't experience negativity or you don't do wrong things. It just means you have a lack of it in your life. It just means that you spend the majority of your time doing the opposite of that. The state of being whole, that being the opposite of corrupt makes you feel that wholeness. It's every time you do something right, it opens you up, it builds you up, it makes you feel better about yourself. It's like the more righteous things that you do, the better you feel about yourself, the more whole you become, the more you can give, the more of yourself that you just become larger, a bigger expansion of the person that you are inside. It just grows, it grows. So this is why it's so important to do positive things and to listen to positive messages and to just take in as much positivity and to be grateful, because it just expands the person that you are. When you need less, you find ways to do more. That's growing yourself. Internal consistency, that's all that, it's the way you talk to yourself, it's what you listen to, it's the messages that are constantly going through your mind, like what are they? Are you listening to messages of positive creation, or are you listening to messages of negative destruction? Are you hearing things and reminding yourself things of ways to grow or ways to deteriorate? Are you asking yourself why you can't have something? Why is this thing always have to happen to you? Why does bad always have to happen to you? It's just my luck. Are you saying those kind of things? I used to say those kind of things when I had bad luck. And then when I stopped saying those things, when I stopped indulging and talking like that, and started indulging and talking like, well, this just, it could happen to anybody. Here, how am I going to overcome this? Well, at least now I know how to change my own tire when it goes flat, or if it pops. I know how to do this. I know how to take care of myself. I don't need nobody. I don't have to feel helpless. If something bad happens to you in a relationship, you can start looking about if a relationship ends, you can look at well, what did you learn? What's the bad that came out of it? But then what was the good? Nobody ever does that. I don't hardly ever hear people talk about the good that they got from the relationship that ended, even if it ended negatively, even if somebody cheated on you, or hurt you really bad. There had to have been something good in there that you learned personally. There's got to be some other. You now recognize traits that when you see, you can let your radar go up, and then you can ask some detailed questions. Because if you're wanting to improve yourself, you've got to be willing to be someone you've never been. And to be someone you've never been, you have to experience things. And so that means you're going to experience some bad. But if you're smart and you're looking for the positive and the bad, it doesn't have to be negative all the time. It doesn't have to be, well, they hurt me and I didn't do anything. I tried. But put all that aside. Put the emotional part aside and think, what good did you get from it? What lessons could be learned from it? What could you have improved on to maybe possibly not have allowed that to happen? Were you being lazy in the relationship? Were you not giving when you needed to be giving? Did you not make up? Were you making too many emotional withdrawals and not enough deposits? That's a lot of time what ends up happening in relationships is that one person is giving in, one person's putting in all the deposits, and the other person's taking it out all in withdrawal, and they're not putting any back in themselves. So it's got to be an equal deposit withdrawal concept. You gotta treat, relationships are like that. But that's with anything in life. That's with your personal integrity. You got to the more you deposit in, the bigger it grows. So the more positive, good things you deposit into your life on a daily basis, the more you take in, the bigger you grow. The stronger you get. The more expanded you become. You can do more. You believe in yourself more, and you prove it to yourself by actually doing it. Not just telling yourself these things, or not just telling people about what you're capable of, but then actually going out there and proving it and being like, here's the trophy, or here's my progress, come look at my business, or Or here's my daughter, come ask her a question about math or whatever. She knows the answer. You know, you spend the time, you know, she knows how to read. You know, you spend the time growing and working on integrity, on the integrity of yourself. And the integrity of yourself means regularly doing these things. It means practicing discipline. Integrity is discipline. Integrity, all the things that I talk about in these videos, they're all linked together. It's all, everything, it all works together. Nothing works by itself. You can't just have integrity by itself. You got to have a work ethic too. You got to be willing to work hard. You can't just be honest. You got to also be willing to work hard. You know, like you got to be willing to commit. You got to be willing to sacrifice. You know, you got to be resilient. You got to be able to get yourself back up when somebody knocks you down. You know, like integrity is a lot of things wrapped up into a little word, but it's doing the right things all the time. It's following what's in here. It's doing the best that you can do to do what in here is guiding in here. So your heart is what guides your mind. Okay, so as long as you follow your heart, you're going to end up in the right place where you're supposed to be. As long as you follow your feelings will tell you, should I be doing this or should I not be doing this? And if they're telling you to not do this, then you got to listen to them and go where they're telling you that you should be going, or go where they're telling you where you should be doing something. That's what always led me to that's what kept me coming back to the gym all these years. It's just something in me that told me that I needed to be in the gym. It was my job. It was my personal responsibility to become this champion. You know, like I felt pulled into it, you know, like, but it was what I wanted, you know. So it's like I just trusted and kept my integrity to myself, and this is what I've become today. And so it's the same thing with you. You have to follow. If your integrity, if your heart is saying, I need to become a doctor, I need to become a mathematician, I need to go start this restaurant, I need to go start this shelter for these animals or for these people, I need to go do this thing, then that's what you need to go do. You need to stop denying yourself. That's the universe saying that you're the one that is supposed to go out there and make the move. You are. It's you. It's not the next guy. It's you. You're the one. And you gotta be willing to step up to yourself and be like, yes, that I'm gonna hold myself accountable. I'm gonna keep my integrity to myself, hold myself accountable. And if I gotta do it alone, then I'm gonna do it alone. I'm gonna do it regardless, because this is the path that I'm meant to be on. You follow your heart, and that's trusting yourself and maintaining personal integrity. You're going to end up where you're meant to end up. You're going to be happy. I can guarantee you that you will be happy. It doesn't mean that you're going to have the dream, the fantasy in your head. You're probably going to have something better than that, because that's what it always works out to. I only wanted to be able to bench press 300 pounds when I first started lifting, and now I've won all these championships, and I'm so much farther ahead of that. I'm bigger and stronger than I ever thought. I have a gym I never thought I would ever have. I've written 2 books. I make videos. These things I did not believe I could do 5 years ago. I would never have thought that I would have had the confidence to do what I'm doing now. It's just because I maintained the integrity. I just trusted what I believed that I was capable of doing, and I let it grow and evolve. And that's what you got to do. You got to let yourself evolve by following your heart. Allowing yourself to do what it tells you to do. If it tells you that you need to change, then you need to change, because it's going to lead you to a better life. That's all I can guarantee, is it will lead you to a better life if you follow your heart and let it guide your mind. It will lead you to the life that you were always meant to have. And that's integrity 101. Remember, don't be average, be epic, baby.